Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jashodanandana Jashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Prabhupada Brahmahamsa Parivajagacharya Stotra Satasishimat His Divine Guru Srila Arvind Ram Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Deputy Founder Acharya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Gosa Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Prajam Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Nadikmay Pradhan Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Samavit Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Gaur All glory to Samudhi. All glory to Samudhi. All glory to Samudhi. Glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter number 22, and text number 32. Yesterday we did 31, today we do 32. This is about Prithu Maharaj is meeting with the four Kumaras and getting instruction from Sanat Kumar. Nataha parataro loke punsa viswartha vyatikrama yad dhananyasya preyasvat atmanaha swavyatikramat not. Ataha, after this, parataraha, greater, loke, in this world, punsaha, of the living entity, swa-artha, interest, vyatikrama, obstruction, yat adhi, beyond that, Anyasa of others. Preyastvam, to be more interested. Atmanaha, of the self. Swa, on. Vyatikrama, by obstruction. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There is no stronger obstruction to one's self-interest than thinking other object matters to be more pleasing than one's self-realization. Human life is especially meant for self-realization. Self refers to the super self and individual self, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entity. When, however, one becomes more interested in bodily sense gratification, he creates for himself obstructions on the path of self-realization. By the influence of Maya, one becomes more interested in sense gratification, which is prohibited in this world for those interested in self-realization. Instead of becoming interested in sense gratification, one should divert his activities to satisfy the senses of the Super Soul. Anything performed contrary to this principle is certainly against one's self-interest. Oh my God, how many people? Terrible. Glories to Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudhapadakapalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagrana Raghunatham Kantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagrana Lalita Shri He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Yogeshwara Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Shri Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading a series of instruction about self-realization given by Sanat Kumar to Prithu Maharaj in order to perform one's real activity. Now Prithu Maharaj is coming under the category of Shakti-Avesh Avatar, means the potency is invested in a living entity, potency of the Lord. So that becomes very, very prominent during his execution of his life mission. And we say how one can become obsessed by one's activities and make a mess of his life. So the science of self-realization has been very important. So I would like to read for the benefit of all of you the previous verses. We have been giving series of this lecture right from Adelaide. So there were 3 lectures in Adelaide on Srimad Bhagavatam, this particular. And rest 2 we already did. This is the 3rd one, so 6 in series will be there. Sanat Kumar starts from the importance of devotional service. They will cover self-realization. But these activities are transcendental to the modes of material nature. That is quite distinguishable. But as far as material nature is concerned, how a living entity is entrapped in the tabernacle of the modes of material nature, that will make him forgetful about his original nature. So he starts with the devotional culture. There are several verses about that, just to give you the connection. He says, the devotee should gradually increase the culture of devotional service by constant hearing of the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These pastimes are like ornamental decorations on the ears of devotees. By rendering devotional service and transcending the material qualities, one can easily be fixed in transcendence in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is just a prelude. He starts with pure devotional service and then tries to explain the effect of our ignorance. Right? So when a person becomes devoid of all material desires and liberated from the material qualities, he transcends distinction between action executed externally and internally. At that time, the difference between the soul and super soul, which was existing before self-realization, is annihilated. When a dream is over, and there is no longer a distinction between the dream and the dreamer. This was also told as a conclusion of Bhagavad Dharma, that vidyate hridaya granthi chindyanti sarva samshaya kshiyante chasya karman drashta eva atmanishvara. Atma realizes the real self is the master. That is not me, but the super soul who is sitting within me. So super soul is realized. In Brahminical training, super soul is the target through deity worship also. So that realization should come. But then he says, when the soul exists for sense gratification, he creates different desires. And for that reason he becomes subjected to designations. But when one is in the transcendental position, he is no longer interested in anything except fulfilling the desire of the Lord. Anya Vilashira Shunya. So there's a saying in line, but then what happened to those who are in the material modes? They have not transcended. So what happens to them? It says, only because of different causes does a person see a difference between himself and others. Just as one sees the reflection of bodily appearing differently manifested on water, on oil, or in a mirror. These are the different media of reflection, but this different media has also been caused by the effects of different modes. So when we ourselves are covered with different modes, not one mode, but a mixture of modes, we see constantly different things. Instead of seeing the equality of the super soul in everyone, we tend to see this body, that body, woman body, man body, white body, black body. External, only the reflected things are there. Now, these reflections are also of different nature. In Vedic culture, woman is respected. It's not that, and she is protected because of some physical. In Western culture, it's completely different look. Why? Because their modes are affecting. Those who are in mode of passion, they will see something in a woman completely different. They have a horrible standard of looking at women. Only as object of sense gratification, rather than of a respect. So when such respect is not there, because neither they are told how to respect. Most of them doesn't see the function of a mother or a sister, and they don't have a coherent family, extended family. Rather, they prefer, on the basis of men and women and their own children. That's about it. That's a different culture altogether. But it is the effect of the mode, right? Just like the image is reflected in different media, water, mirror, and oil. They have all reflective surfaces, right? The reflective surfaces of a different density gives different image. But this density is a physical thing. But at the same time, we see anything that is existing physically is composed of material modes. So, we keep on differentiating bodily conception is based on differentiating different bodies. There is no unifying nature, you know. So, when one's mind and senses are attracted to the sense objects for the enjoyment, the mind becomes agitated. As a result of continually thinking of sense objects,